Again, super stoked to have you back.
Yeah, bro.
One of my best buddies. We've, I don't know if you knew this, Josh, but Andrew and I used to work corporate. How long ago was that? 5 years ago?
Man, yeah, like 2018, 2017.
That's how we were both sales reps at an escrow company. Like you were part of the San Clemente office, and then I don't know where the fuck, I was somewhere in the middle. I didn't really have an office. And then I remember you got let go.
Yeah.
And then I quit because I'm like, I'm over this. And then you went into your title journey.
Yeah.
And then obviously I was like going into like real estate marketing, and then obviously now assistantly, it's been for the last couple of years. But it's cool because like whenever we've done our separate things, we've always kind of like interwoven what we've done, which is cool.
I need some lathe in my life.
Yeah, it's fun. Dude, and it's cool because like even full circle, besides just like promoting like I'll promote your title, you'll promote like my real estate marketing and just like offshore staffing and assistantly. And then like full circle, what was really cool is like, I remember when you bought your first property and then I bought my first property, I got to actually use you guys for
that
title.
was the best phone call. I was like, my boy's getting a house.
Yeah, I was so excited because I was like, I knew the first call I'm going to make, and I called you, and then obviously that was like really fun to work with. Parents will be buying a house, hopefully in the future, like in the next, hopefully 6 months. So then that's going to be an easy plug.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's just cool how we've always been like interwoven. And then you came to me recently, you're like, hey, I need help. I'm like stressed, overwhelmed. I feel burnt out. I'm tired. I need an assistant. Don't know where to start. Like, I have a good sense of like what I want them to do. But like, can you help me find somebody, and like, can you just kind of help me with it? I guess the first question is, would you mind walking me through like that type of feeling when you're just like, you just had like that, I just need an assistant, I need to pull a trigger.
Well, it's your fault, bro.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram, and here's Lath and Capri, and he's vacationing, and I'm like, my man, he is just living his best, married, doing his thing, and I'm like, I just need to find a way to give myself more time back, because my days are just like, it requires so much of my attention. I need to be there, but then also I could see parts of my business were suffering because I get tied to my desk. Like like 9 to COVID was great, but then now I'm still stuck in those habits, because when everybody was working from home, you're just behind your computer and everybody's doing that. But then now people are back out in the field. You have the broker previews, and it's like being in real estate, it's an in-person business. Like, you still want to meet with people, you 100%. Want to see them at their open houses. And for me, my book of business, thank you, Jesus, has gotten really good. So you have so many transactions coming, and that keeps me to my email, because people are calling, texting, I need to be there. And when I'm out in the field, I come back and there's like 40 unread emails, and it's 4:30 in the evening, and it's like we close at 5. It's like,
tight.
And that would just like kind of stress me out. And it really came to just like burning me out. And I'm like, man, I can't keep doing this, because my business is only going to keep growing, and there's only going to be more and more people. And I need help. I need help.
Well, and the thing is too, like, I feel like also there's a point where like you have your book of business, but you can only service amount of like that business, because like how can you possibly grow when you're doing everything on your own?
Yeah.
Like, so also too, like while you're out in the field, you can't be prospecting.
That is it, yeah.
Or communicating.
Or like you're so busy handling all the inbound email. Hey, new escrow, can you open this? And you're so focused on this that you lose time on prospecting. 100%. And in real estate, like you're going to be friends with people, and I think there's no harm in it. Like, people come and go. There's people that work with you, and then but you always need to have prospecting, because if a client leaves, or hey, dude, this situation, or they move, like these things happen in our business.
Absolutely.
And if you just are so focused on just these people
current
here,
clients, and
then somebody walks away, and then but you always need to be prospecting.
Yeah.
So for me, I love to prospect, and I love to meet new people and just fire them up. Hey, way to go on your new listing.
That's part of your strategy.
Yeah. And I could tell, when I sent you that email, like, Lath, I need help. Like, I really need your help, bro. I think this is time. I talked to Gemma, and she was like, yeah, you should really do this. And then, of course, I get super swamped and busy, and you had sent me like an intro email, and I'm like didn't have time to read it for a couple days, and I'm like, oh,
like,
see, I can't
do it.
And oh man, I just felt like the enemy was just really knew that this was going to be such a good thing, and created such a hurdle in my mind of like, don't do this, but really it was what I most needed to do. It's like fear or something. It's like on the other side of that is actually what I needed to do the most. And I said, you know what, Megan knows. I sent her that email like, no, I can't do this, and then like an hour later, no, I need to freaking do it. Like, let's dive in and lean into that fear and freaking.
But I guess the question is like what were your hesitations of hiring an assistant? Like what was it like the fact where you're like, it's super overwhelming, I don't want to have to train this person from scratch, I don't want to have to manage them, I don't want to have to find this person. Like what was the feeling where like when you were like, I don't want to do this, what were the hesitations?
Yeah, I think for me it was like, people know like my brand and who I am. So when I have that standard, every email needs to make sure there's not a typo in it. The messages that I send, everything that I'm trying to do is to the absolute best of my ability. And that's a lot to then give to an assistant, say, hey, match this standard. And for me, part of it was like, oh my gosh, like what if they send something that I didn't want them to send to somebody I didn't want them to send? And all my brain starts going to like, the negative. And you know what, I was just like, dude, who freaking cares? Dude, just go for it, man. Like, she sends an email to the wrong person, okay, I'll tell her and we'll get a system or a way to figure it out. But it just came to the point where it was like, you know what, I'd rather try this and go for it than not. So to answer your question, a lot of those things are just like in your head of like, oh, I don't know if she'll meet the standard, or what if they make a mistake.
It happens,
And I think too, just getting all the systems kind of set up. I knew I'm so stressed and busy right now, then I'm gonna add on top training a new person and onboarding them. So it was like, I had a great talk with Cliff, our sales manager, and he's like, dude, just know that first 30 days are gonna be tough because you're doing your business and you're training a new person. But after that, it's real. And I think that helped actually manage my expectations to know like, dude, I'm gonna be pretty tired. I'm gonna be doing Zoom meetings a lot.
Just get this person up to speed. And then, okay, so then when you came to me, or you came to Megan, you're like, hey, I'm ready to go. What was the purpose of this assistant? Like, what was the reason that you wanted to hire this assistant specifically? Like, what were they going to be doing?
Yeah, I think too, even in real estate, the business has shifted so much, especially this year with like interest rates being higher. So there's less listings available for everybody. So you're seeing people leave the business, realtors getting full-time jobs. Like, so right now, there is only so many listings in your certain territory, San Clemente, Dana Point, whatever. So I was like, man, this is a great opportunity with prospecting and to start leveraging my brand and my social media to reach out to people, not just through emails, but through Instagram, through Facebook. And I was like, you know what, this could be a great opportunity to help me out with people who've never heard of me, never worked with me, maybe are in some different areas in Orange County, that I can have an assistant reach out on my behalf. Some people will say yes, some people will say no, some people, my email won't even go to them because it goes to spam, or you know,
doesn't matter.
But it's like the law of life. Anytime you do more of something, you're always gonna get, you can't make more cold calls and not get something back. You can't do more prospecting and not get more prospects. You know,
I mean,
like,
makes sense.
So that was just kind of like, let's start there with helping out with some prospecting and cleaning up HubSpot.
Okay, mess.
Oh, dude, like,
beast.
So I'm so habitual. I meet you, or like I meet Josh. Josh gives me his business card, or like gives me on the gram. I go and I put them in my Excel spreadsheet. Josh, videographer, email. Then I go and create them in HubSpot, and I'll follow up with Josh in 1 month. Okay, you start doing that over and over and over again.
There's a lot.
I have like thousands of people in HubSpot. So I'll be like, Monday, it's going to be a great day. Tasks due today, HubSpot, 186. Like, oh my gosh. And just for like, that's a lot. Like
time.
30 people would probably take like an hour to an hour and 30.
So it's like 6 hours almost.
So yeah, you can imagine
Holy
that.
shit.
So I was like meeting with this A+ real estate agent in San Clemente. And I said, how do you manage your CRM?
Yeah.
You have so many clients. You've been doing this business for 30 years. You have 10 active listings. How do you, and he's like, I've learned to delegate and I take care of my A and like
Yeah.
B people. And then the rest I have
Somebody else
else
manage.
help me out. And then when they're ready, they throw them back up to me. And I'm like, okay,
that's nice.
that's great advice. Like,
Yeah.
so I can stay present with the people who are sending me the most business, because real estate's tough. Right now, people who are normally really good agents, they do one deal a
they're
month.
not perform. Yeah.
They may be doing 6 deals a year.
Yeah, it's
like
different.
half or even just
Yeah.
3 deals a year. So it's very different climate, but you still need to stay in front of these people. You know?
100%. So when it comes down to like, obviously there's the CRM management, and then I'm guessing there's the prospecting. Are you having your assistant and like now Therese Cha-Cha?
Like the dance, cha-cha.
So we'll call it Cha-Cha. Are you having Cha-Cha like run through? Is that like one of her to-do lists? Is like to run through those people? Is it hey, if only for people that get like a new listing? Like, what is the approach that you follow that's been like super efficient working with Cha-Cha?
Yeah, so I think we did like a trial and error kind of thing.
Okay.
So what I did is I said, let's, for the first 2 weeks, you're going to do one thing and one thing only, because I
love
want
that.
you to be
Yeah.
really
You're
good at it. Like
That's
we're
great.
doing like the New England Patriots, do your job,
Yeah.
one thing, and when I see you can do it very well,
Then we'll move you on.
let's
Yeah.
move on
Yeah.
to number 2.
Yeah, love that.
So number 1 was really, I'm like, HubSpot is a lot for me right now. And some of these people are prospects, right?
Okay.
So Laith, you and I, we've done a transaction together, and in HubSpot, it will show that we closed in 2023 on your house,
yeah.
whatever. So I created these rules for her when she's in HubSpot and she's seen we've closed the deal in 2023 or 2024, skip, go to the next person.
Okay.
And the next person might be a prospect, so we've never done a deal together. So then she could reach out to them or message them, and I'd give her certain scripts. And then I started realizing through our system, like, hey, I could actually just do a little cha-cha yes, green arrow, or cha-cha no, red, on every person. So
Wow.
before she messages anybody in the notes,
Yeah, she knows.
over the course of 3 months, I'll eventually have every person labeled cha-cha yes, cha-cha no, or some will get converted from she's reaching out,
Yeah.
and boom, we got an order from
another
them. Now
client.
I'll take over and
That's cool.
start, which has already started to happen, which is crazy that it's happened so quickly
Yeah.
that like, oh, sweet. Like, I remember the first day she got me a deal, and I'm like, doing my little dancing up in there. I'm like, woo, let's go. But
So how soon did that happen? Like, was that
day 1.
day 1?
I don't even think she realized what she had just done. But like, she reached out to somebody
No way.
at the right time,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
cool.
they message me and they go, "Oh, Andrew, I just got your message. I actually have a new listing coming up. Can you get this one going?" And I'm like, "Come on, baby, let's go."
Day
Like,
1?
Day 1, bro.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm like emailing Cha-Cha, "You're amazing. We already got one deal." I'm audio texting my wife, "Babe, literally, you won't even believe it. Cha-Cha just got me a deal," and she's like, "No way!" Like, yeah,
And that was day 1.
day 1, bro.
And have you seen anything else besides
Absolutely. Since then, I've seen a lot come through, but I'm a big believer on like with systems. Like if something works once, repeat it.
that? Yeah.
And with like scripts, because then I had her doing originally in my mind, I was like, I'll have you cold call listings.
Yeah.
Right? Like somebody gets a new listing, you'll send them an email, and I have this script, and we worked really hard. I mean, like a lot of Zoom hours, and I was noticing like there was a little bit of a language barrier, and it was hard. And I even would have her make test calls to Gemma, and I would sit there in my office and just close my eyes and just listen to
See
how
if
it
it's best.
sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's have you make
Alter.
like 5 calls and give me the feedback on all 5 of those calls. And the first feedback I got, they were all pretty negative. And I'm like, people were actually pretty rude. Like, would as soon as they heard her voice would be like, what is this about? Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. First, I feel terrible because I know Cha-Cha. She's a single mom. Her daughter's had health issues, and she's trying her best. And then, so this is just a good reminder for anybody. If you get a call from someone, you do not know what they're going through. So
no need to be rude.
Gently let them down. Don't be rude, because for me, I'm like, I know what she's going through. And like when people were, it actually like physically hurt my heart. I'm like,
that's
oh.
terrible.
And I'm like, maybe based off her skills, I don't think calls would be the best for her.
Okay.
But she's so good at these messages, and she's very creative.
Personable.
So I said, let's stick with the emails, and instead of doing a call, let's send a message on Instagram or Facebook after as a follow-up. That started working. Then I started realizing we're getting a lot of responses on Instagram or Facebook, but nobody's really replying to the emails. So I go into ChatGPT and I said, how can I make this email not so like about a sale or this, but more
robotic.
to help? You know, and it changed the verbiage, and then I got in there and edited it to be more like helpful and more from a servant's attitude, like not like, hey, you have a new listing, give me the title order. Not, it wasn't like that, but more like, hey, you got a new listing. I might not be getting the title order, but do you need an open house kit? Do you have title questions?
Free value.
You know, just anything to kind of help out. Then those started getting responses. So now I'm like, okay, the calls didn't work. We've removed that. We now understand HubSpot with the yes and no. She understands the direct messages and Facebook messages on Instagram. We have those scripts that are working. We have the email script that is working. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And then now it's just
rinse, repeat,
and it's working, and it's incredible.
And then we had a phone call where you were like, dude, there's this agent or this client I've been trying to get forever, and like she responded.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm like, because I use a VPN. I'm like, shoot, I don't know. Like, maybe I just am so busy. I'm not sending these messages at the right time. Because normally for me, when I was doing it all on my own, trying to be Atlas, holding it all up, it was like early morning or like 4 o'clock after. Those were the times I could get to HubSpot.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are really busy. They got their kids. They got their stuff in the morning. Sometimes at night.
Don't see it or
they're at open house. So just sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it and when you say it. You know? So
absolutely.
That's really, really helped.
And then now that she's been doing that, what have you been able to focus on? Yeah,
so now I've been really able to focus on my clients and get out of my office in person with people. I'm able to go to broker previews. I'm able to have more meetings because like there's the people that I've been trying to get a hold of. Like there's this lady, top producer, probably good. I've been in the business for 5 years, going after her for 5 years. And in one Facebook message, I get a call me response.
Is this the one that Cha-Cha sent?
Yes.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So I get a call me and I go, oh, call it. And it just, the number's disconnected. And I'm like, oh, this is maybe her business Facebook that has like those auto responses. And I go, hey, I tried calling you, the number was disconnected. And she goes, oh, I gave you 715, not 714.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay. So I call and she, hey, what were you talking about these next sellers? And we start talking. She's like, oh my gosh, wait, hold on, my broker's in here. I want to see if my broker wants you to come in and meet with us too. And literally 15-minute call.
Whole conversation.
And now we're going to go and meet on Wednesday.
Oh, no way.
Done 124 transactions in 12 months in this market. So that's 12 transactions.
That's not unheard of.
That's unheard of. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible.
Yeah, and the cool part is like what to understand is like Cha-Cha's not like the one like converting your appointments. She's just the one gauging interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because then that's up to you to go take it from there, provide the value, meet in person, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's volume. She's just volume, just client follow-up, nurturing, prospecting, CRM organization, which then now allows you to go do that like really cool 1 hour thing with that whole team, or with that broker and that agent or that client to like actually provide value. And then the cool thing is Cha-Cha still gets to be prospecting while you're doing that kind of stuff.
While I'm doing that stuff.
Which is even cooler.
You're so right, because it really is, she is essentially just taking a first email or script, engaging interest. And I know Tom Ferry says it really well. He calls it like chumming the water. So if you ever go fishing and then you throw bait out and then like fish come and then you can start reeling it in. So essentially these messages are like you're throwing the chum out there and then seeing who responds. And if they do, she knows I'm taking over from here. And I can call, I can email, I can text, but it helps to have somebody sending all of those outbound messages on my behalf. And then from there, I'm taking over and really helping out. And I guess it is my voice the whole time because it's my script. She's just really sending it. And then from there, I take over. So it's that kind of first touch. Yep.
And like besides like the professional aspect, like how about personally? Like, has it helped you like spend more time with your wife, or like where you're like, I'm just more excited to work out? Because I remember when we were talking, you're like, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's tiring to do all this stuff. Go work out, go spend time, go do all these different things. Like it's just I don't have as much capacity. Like hiring an assistant allows you to do like other things besides just the work stuff.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like,
Yeah.
so I feel like right around the time I was talking to you, got the assistant, I changed my morning routine because I would actually do the gym when I could.
Yeah, it's
So it
tough.
would be
That's
like,
tough,
I'm
yeah.
planning to try and go at 10 or 11, but let me get caught up on emails first.
Yeah.
Once it's down to 0, then I'll hit the gym. So my gym times were
Always
all over
fluctuating.
the place. And dude, I'm taking pre-workout at like 6:30 in the morning. So sometimes by 11:30, I haven't hit the gym. Yeah.
He's zigged out.
Like going crazy. So Gemma, just the wise, brilliant wife that she is, she goes, babe, you need to go to the gym early, like right at 7, because who's responding to emails at 7? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, oh my gosh, you're so right. Why am I doing this, you fool?
Yeah.
So
Kill yourself.
I start going to the gym right away at 7. I'm home by 8, 8:15,
Yeah, that's
shower,
awesome.
gym done, fired up, ready to freaking rocket to the moon, start work at 9 a.m., dude. Just freaking
Yeah, guns blazing.
dialed. So that helped me out because now my workout's done. I'm able to kind of get into the office.
More energized.
And more energized.
Yeah.
And I just feel like truly I have so much peace, Laith. Like it is so undescribable. I don't even want to get like emotional or cry about it, but like I feel so good, dude. Like thank you, bro.
No, dude. I mean,
Like thank you.
No,
Seriously,
I
I mean
appreciate
it,
you.
bro. Like it was like just really stressed, man. And it was like so nice to just be at like 5 o'clock. Like, dude, I don't have 195 tasks in HubSpot due tomorrow. I was able to get prospecting done. I'm able now at 5 o'clock to be like, work is done. Let's go spend quality time with my wife. Fully engaged, not like, oh, did I send that? Blah, blah, blah,
go back to
in
the
my
computer.
brain, and just like you can't put a price tag on peace.
Yeah, and that's an important one, and I think like also too like there obviously is it is obviously more affordable when you hire offshore, of course, but I think like the last thing is like you can't put a price tag on peace. Like it's not even about like all the clients and stuff that you're getting. It is obviously that's a contributor, but it's like the
That's
fact
a bonus.
it's a bonus. It's like you get to like now go to the gym in the morning. That's crossed off your list, and so now you're back on the routine. You now get to go on like dinner date nights and like watch TV and relax, and then like all that work in between gets to get done. And it's just that's just you hiring a part-time assistant.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
like,
it.
That was like literally the whole recipe.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is like
it.
which is not, I mean obviously there's a lot of more components to it, but it's like you literally went from because I remember too, and I remember like but even when you're getting emotional is like I remember when we talked on Zoom and I've known you for such a long time where you're always so high energy and you're always just ready to go, as you guys probably all saw. And it's a thing where like that call I was like, Andrew looks a little different. Like he looks like tired, and you're like, you don't really ever appear tired, and you don't really ever appear stressed. And I'm like, you do look like you need an assistant. And it was cool to like kind of go back and forth and then like get you, because like you also asked like, how do I do this? And like I got to also kind of help with like the whole delegation coaching of it.
Yeah.
When we were like in the beginning of just like, all right, like here's how I would map it out. And dude, I mean, you're so organized where you're like, boom, doc. What do you think of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good, ready to go. And like also having somebody, because like the thing is like, yes, incorporating her is one thing in the first 30 days, but like also Charisse had a really good skill set.
Yeah, she did.
Like Cha-Cha like had a really good skill set where she wasn't like a trained from scratch. Like she was already trained. She just needed to be understanding of how your business runs, because you have high standards. Your approach is different. And there's no Andrew Walsh 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. There's just one version of you. So for her to understand like how you want to run your business, that's like as obviously like as soon as she like, okay, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, he likes to send these templates. Like that's also big, because like can you also like it would have been a lot harder for you to just train from scratch and we just go, here's this person.
Yeah.
Like, at least she had like the skills in the foundation, and then you just go, hey, Cha-Cha, here's what I think we should do. Let's go back and forth. But I also think what's really cool is like you spent time collaborating with her.
Oh yeah.
Like you weren't just like, here, go do this, let me know. You're just like, hey, let's sit down, let's collaborate, what's working, what's not working. She's giving you good feedback of like, hey, somebody responded to this Facebook message, and then you're like, so you're starting to see like this pattern.
Yeah.
And like that just helped, just kind of like, and you guys are, all this being said, like, what, you guys are like 2 months in?
2 months in.
2 months in?
Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not even 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's unbelievable. Like I'm like I'm so stoked for you. I'm very happy that like you have that like personal, professional, and just like that, that growth piece component to you. And like even you came in here like smiling.
Oh,
stoked.
dude, I feel great, bro.
Yeah.
I will say, to your point, definitely Cha-Cha was very ready to go, but I really emphasized training with her. Like
Yeah, of
we
course.
have Zoom meetings every Monday, but we would do more if we needed to. We really started, and I remember her saying, like, Andrew, I really appreciate you taking so much time to train and mentor me. Like a lot of times I've worked with people and they just kind of give me tasks and I don't hear from them.
Yeah, which is
and
nuts.
she's
Yeah, I
she's
never
like, you're
believe
very
that.
available. Like I'll send
Yeah.
you WhatsApp messages and you get back to me and stuff. It's like, absolutely. Like I want us to be
It's a partnership.
and talk.
Yeah.
So I think too, for like your clients and stuff, they can be as proactive as they want, but you're gonna get how much you put into it as well.
Yeah, you get results faster when you're proactive.
Yeah. And now I'm like, okay, so we did train pretty hard for a month, but
Yeah.
now I'm like back to personal training. Like if I've been training you for a year,
Yeah.
I'm a bad personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, you should be able to go
just go
and
do it.
do your workout
Yeah.
and eat right.
Yeah,
You know,
you
like
should get the gist,
I know,
yeah.
like after a year, like okay, there are certain things like, hey, I really need this person, but like same thing. Like it's been a month. You should be able to fly. Like, and
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
do need to come and land real quick and we're changing something
Yeah.
up, great.
Happy to help.
And just slowly build. Like start small, one task, see how they do that, great, bump. Yeah.
I think that's like one of the problems. Like when someone hires an assistant, they go, "I need you to do all these things at once." Mm-hmm. And I think, like, can you imagine if you said, "Hey, I need you to do HubSpot. Oh, send an email. Oh, go into this tool. Oh, make a phone call," and like that person like automatically is like, "Fuck, I'm overwhelmed."
Yeah.
Like,
I'm overwhelmed thinking
yeah,
about
thinking
it.
about it, it sounds overwhelming. But like the cool thing with you is you're like, all right, HubSpot first. Then let's go into messaging. Then we could try calls. If it works, great. If it doesn't, let's just tweak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's gather some feedback. But also, too, I think the weekly meetings are really cool because then you guys just get to like talk, see how things are going, and then like you get to just update her. Hey, we crushed this. We got a new new client in the door. Or hey, what do you think if like maybe we try this new because also too I think one cool thing about you is you're not just like here's one way.
Yeah.
You're always just going to kind of keep evolving the way you do things.
Yeah.
Which is like why you always get like new clients and prospects and people know who you are is because like you're always like looking for like value, whether it's like you're going to send it like dude like I mean the Facebook Instagram message I would have never thought like and you just completely change like it's like a new strategy.
Well, it is because people I've sat with, and I know you've sat with a real estate agent, and they pull up their Gmail and they have
So
1,800 unread emails,
not organized.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, like your email is just lost
all over the place.
But the benefit of an Instagram message is they can see it and they're like, dude, I'm with the kids, I'm at Little League, they can
respond quicker.
They can unread and go reply to that later when they're sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
There's no urgency. Like with an email, if they don't respond in the first like couple of seconds, the odds of that it's lost.
Yeah, lost in the sauce.
But then what I realize is Facebook Messenger, bro.
Yeah, quick.
So Instagram, like for me personally, I have Instagram notifications off.
Yeah, mine are off.
So when I go into Instagram, then I see them. But Facebook, most people have the Facebook app, but they also have the Facebook Messenger app downloaded. So you see that little one with a red, and most people have like I see it, I need to get to it. And I get the highest response rate from Facebook Messenger.
Wow. And you like no one would have ever thought. But it's like also like you just kind of trial and error.
Trial and error. Yeah. And like some people don't have a Facebook, but then you hit them up on Instagram and you have different vehicles.
Avenues.
Yeah, different vehicles.
So I guess like one of the last questions for you is like where do you see this going with Cha-Cha? Are you just like unlimited possibilities, opportunities, and you're just like, hey, I just want to continue down the path that we're on, or do you see yourself like delegating more in the future, like as you get more comfortable? Like what is your thought process?
Well, I think like my initial thought process is like, man, I feel like the episode of this podcast is you can't put a price on peace. Is like I already feel so much peace.
Yeah.
And that is like such an amazing feeling to have with your business that anything that happens on top of this already is just icing on the cake. Getting new clients, new business, that's incredible. But being able to spend quality time with my wife, and when I mean quality time, I mean like I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm fully present.
Yeah,
Like
that's cool.
I'm sure Kira loves
Yeah.
when she has your
Yeah.
eyes and your
Yeah, full
attention,
attention.
you know? And even if somebody never works with me, but they do get a nice message that we're praying for them and hoping that they have a great day, then honestly, that's great. I think Orange County specifically can use a lot more love and positivity and people just being nice, expecting nothing in return. So
Yeah,
I
love
feel
it.
like that is just something that I hope to happen from this as well, you know?
No, I love it. Well, everybody, we got Andrew Walsh here, one of my best buddies,
Love
also
you,
one
bro.
of my favorite clients of all time now. Number one client. I don't know if I can say that out loud anymore.
Woo!
But,